Hi, my name is Jim Dang from the Outdoor Gear Exchange, and today I want to talk to you about how to go from warm weather running to cold weather running. Running through the winter can be difficult because winter comes with a lot of different factors like the cold, the wind, it's quite wet. So today I want to talk to you about how to be prepared to get through all that. First things first, you got to cover yourself from top to bottom. At the very top of your head, you're going to need a beanie. And you ideally want something that's not made out of cotton. You want a synthetic or some sort of wool material to be able to wick away moisture. I like to run with a hat made by turtle fur. Very soft on the inside, very comfortable, but also wicks away moisture. It's also thin. When it gets really cold, I like to wear a merino wool hat just because it wicks away the moisture and still keeps me very warm. Next, I personally like to wear sunglasses because I like to just avoid having wind hit my face. Really, it's annoying when I'm having to squint the whole time trying to run, so I personally like to wear my Jobo sunglasses. Next, I like to have a buff. Buff, very versatile equipment. I like to have it around my neck to keep me warm, but if I don't quite need it, I like to have it on my wrist just to wipe away snot, because that is a very real thing. The next piece up top that you want to be considerate of is your base layer. I like to wear a synthetic or a wool piece for the same reasons why I wear a wool or synthetic hat, to keep me dry and to keep me warm. In the summer you can wear cotton, but in the winter you really should just wear a synthetic or a wool piece up top, because it will just wick away moisture and keep you warm. Cotton will just absorb the water, get heavy, and when you're static, it will just get you really cold. So please just wear a synthetic or a wool piece when you're out there to make your experience more enjoyable. Great. On top of the base layer, I like to wear a hard shell, a waterproof breathable hard shell, because it acts as a windbreaker, and most importantly, it keeps all the moisture out. With the full zip, it allows you to regulate your temperature while you're running. So if you are getting cold, you can zip it up as you're moving, it'll keep all the heat in, or you can unzip it, a lot of the heat just dump out so you don't overheat, because you really just don't want to get wet because all that moisture will cool off and get you really cold. When it gets really cold, I like to wear an insulating jacket. And I prefer a jacket made with synthetic materials because it will keep you warm even when it's wet. So this jacket works great. I'll wear it over my base layer and I'm very comfortable. Full zip again allows me to regulate the temperature, so I know that I'm always happy on my run. And when it is really cold, I like to use both pieces in conjunction. I'll have the insulating layer over the base layer and then the hard shell over it all to keep me weatherproof and protected, warm, but also breathable. The next very important piece is gloves. I like to wear a glove made with wind stopper because the wind in the winter is honestly the worst thing. I don't like to wear Gore-Tex because it really doesn't breathe that much. This is lightly insulated, a little bit of wind stopper just to keep all the elements out. I find that I'm always wearing gloves when I'm out running. You also want to dress your legs as you're going out there in the winter. So choose a pair of synthetic or wool tights to keep you warm, just so you can be out there longer. Transitioning down to your feet, you want to make sure you're wearing a nice synthetic or a wool pair of socks. I personally love Darn Tough. To keep me warm, they don't absorb water, I don't get blisters. Just a very reliable piece. So make sure you have socks that you're very comfortable in and just make sure they are not cotton. The shoe for the winter is going to be a little different. You want something with a little bit more of aggressive sole to be able to dig into the snow and the crud. And if the weather is really bad, super icy, definitely make sure you have a pair of nano spikes. These are great for running around urban areas, but if you're heading out into more of the wilderness or the backcountry, I would try a pair of micro spikes. Just give you a little bit more edge, just to be able to grip into the ice better. Any run under an hour and a half, I like to have a handheld with me. This is really nice because it allows me to have my nutrition, but also extra electrolytes if needed. If I'm running anything more, or more of an adventure run out in the backcountry, carrying extra water and also the capacity to carry extra food, and also easily store your nano spikes. Really nice to have. Low profile, keep everything there and organized. With winter, you lose a lot of sunlight, and if you're like me, when you get out of work, you gotta run, it's dark. So I always run with a headlamp. Rather play safe, there are street lights, but sometimes you just want to have the option to be able to just adventure. Having a nice reliable headlamp is great. And due to being cold, make sure you have extra batteries with you in case your headlamp does die. If you have any further questions about any of the products or how to just really be successful training this winter, you can contact me or our other gear experts at www.gearx.com. Cheers.